Northwest. Nobody even to you there, boy. Yeah, you're doing a good job yourself. Like always. Have a good day. Have a safe one. Unit 21, operator Jim in North Carolina.
Well, it looks like North Carolina and witch doctor down there in the islands coming in. Hey,
73, Tululu.
somebody asked me out there in Texas, like, I got just the radio. I just let everybody know I got just the radio running. I have no amp. I'm just running radio, and I got this my meter up here. All right, but and an amplified mic, and I got this stuff running off of batteries. Here, I'll show you what's going on out here. Oh, look, my cat. Hey. Yeah. Say hello to everybody. Yeah. Anyway. That's my tower. Up to that big stick up in the air. Alright. Now, what I got right off the bat is kind of like a jerry-rigged kind of thing. I want to get a little stuff a little bit better set up. But anyway, these are my solar panels that I don't have out right at the moment. But I got, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right there, all hooked up in was it parallel auxiliary, you know, where 12 volt. And I got a little power trickle charger down here on 2 amp trickle charger. And that's running off of you know, the power grid at the moment. But I got solar panels at Harbor Freight 100 watt. Dang, I need a little bit more. I'm working on a little bit more. I got a little tiny thing sitting over here helping in with the charging too, but I'm gonna get me some more solar panels to keep everything running. But that's how I had everything running when the hurricane happened, because we were out of power for like 2 weeks. Well, almost 2 weeks, and that's how I had all those sitting out there in the yard and charging up the batteries. You know, at least where I could listen. I mean, I couldn't talk very much, and I definitely couldn't use the amp. But that's how I was on the air the whole time. And but that's my system, and I got this kind of antenna on my truck at the moment, and a big old, and this is what I got going on in the truck. Anytone 6666. That's what I got going on in there at the moment. Kind of thrown in here, but that's really I really like the audio and stuff like this. This is pretty good radio. But that's how I got everything hooked up. It's on 12 volts. It's on battery, trickle charger, and yeah, and let's see here. Quit shaking. Alright. But anyway, somebody out there in Texas asked me what I was using, because he noticed my DC voltage meter over there kind of jumping all over the place when I key up. Well, like I said, and that's another thing too. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you that too. I mean, you know, eventually, what I want to do, because I haven't done it yet, but while I was during the hurricane, I had a bunch of scavenging and found some decent batteries. Man, these things are still holding a good charge, and they're not dead cells or anything. I think one of them, I think that one actually is the lowest, and it's not really holding the charge all that well. But the rest of them hold up charge too, and eventually I'm going to have all these hooked up also, and so I can run at least my radio equipment, you know, a fan, some lights. What I want to do eventually is get it to the point where I can run my refrigerator, you know, an air conditioner or a heater, which actually I might not need a heater, because what I might do somewhere down the line is actually build me something like a rocket stove like I did here. See, I actually, it's just a couple of angle tubing and my rocket stove, you know, where I can cook and stuff, you know, but in my fire pit. And but yeah, maybe have something like that, but having like a flat cooktop out to here, and then the flue coming out there, so I can have a flat cooktop, and then you know, whatever, but I maybe putting that inside the house and using that as the kind of like a potbelly stove kind of thing, but a rocket stove. And I just got to build it or something, but that's what I've got right here outside for, like, you know, when I want to cook out here on open fire. And you know, this is my cat. I call her Cat. She's actually a stray that kind of adopted me, and tends to hang out because she likes me, I guess. Puts up with me anyway, I guess. But yeah, and she kind of hangs out here and chases the mice and the grasshoppers and stuff like that. But yeah, and but yeah, eventually I want to have like everything where I could like run it off of the grid altogether. I mean, technically I can right now when it comes down to the radio. Technically I can right now run it off of the batteries and all that stuff. But I mean, run it off of solar or whatever right now. But it's just so convenient to have that little trickle charger up there, and I can get really long-winded and talk for a while before it really gets down low enough where it starts affecting my transmit, really. Because I mean, honestly, I do get long-winded sometimes, but I haven't been able to drain all 6 of those batteries to the point where it's going to mess up my radio. It might fluctuate what it looks like on the radio, where a DC voltage meter thing is on the radio. It might look like it fluctuates up and down. But eventually what I also want to do is I'm gathering. I have a bunch of these, like during the hurricane, I collected a bunch of stuff, and like I was collecting microwaves, you know, so I can pull the transformers and the capacitors and the magnets out of them. And what I'm thinking about doing is getting a bunch. You know, I think I got four capacitors out of microwaves, and what I'm thinking about doing is just stacking them and putting them in front of the batteries. So the majority of the draw, the initial draw, like from my radio, or if I put an amp in, you know, from the, because everything I'm gonna have eventually, if I put an amp, which I don't need it with this radio, but, and I mean, you know, I don't really care if you can't hear me with 100 watts or a little less than 100 watts. You don't need to hear me, you know, whatever. But I mean, it would be nice if I could push anywhere from 100 to 500. Anywhere from 1 to 5 would be, you know, like a general, like 300 watts, dude. People all over the country would not have to, or the world will not even have trouble hearing me at all. I'd probably end up creating my own conditions. Some people would actually not like that because they don't want to hear me anyway. But yeah, I've got a bunch of old amps, like old. Let's see here. I got a bunch of old. These all need work. Like I got this. Let's see here. I got this, what is this, Supermo, whatever, some other deal right there, and I got another one, and another one. I got about 4 or 5 of them in there, but they actually all need work. They all need, like, parts and stuff, like new pills in them, or something like that. They just need to be repaired. I don't have the money to buy parts, and then on top of that, I'm not that skilled in electronics, which I want to be, and I tinker around with, and I do fix things here and there, but like new pills, I don't really have the, I got to take the damn things out, and I don't have actually the soldering iron that actually heats up. I got one of the cheap Radio Shack, doesn't heat up enough to get the solder off of those pills and stuff, so I can actually take them out and test them and make sure that if they can work. If they don't, just put new replace. That's what I need to do. I haven't really figured out if that's exactly what's all wrong with them. Now, most of them I can tell you exactly the symptoms of what happened right before they stopped working, and then some of them I can't tell you what the hell went on. It's just like one day it was working, and woke up, go to work, and come back home, and damn thing ain't working again. It's like freaking gremlins came in and messed with it or something. But for some reason, I just can't keep amps. For some reason. But I got a bunch of mobile amps over here. All of them don't really work, but they all probably need simple repairs, like new pills put in them, or maybe even a resistor replaced. That's about it. Everything else, they're clean. It's just I'm not really good at diagnosing what exactly is wrong with it. So if it's just a part to replace, I'll replace it, and I don't know what the hell, but hell, I know I ain't all frequency. But, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe even, eventually what I want to do is actually probably try and get work the battery system up to maybe a 24 volt instead of a 12 volt. And then get one of the, like a converter, like a DC to DC converter, and then drop it back down to 12 volts so I can run my radio and some lights and fans and stuff like that or whatever. And then then I got a small inverter to AC, a DC to AC, so I can run some AC stuff, But and then eventually I want to get some more solar panels, and then I'm also working on a generator that I want to, because I'm telling you, man, when the hurricane happened and we were out for almost 2 weeks without a power, I mean, no, you can't go out and get gas and all this other stuff for the generators, and you run out of gas for the generator, you're fucked, and you got your food spoils, and then on top of that, if you had medication that need to be refrigerated, you're screwed. So, I mean, it made me think about a lot of stuff. So when it comes down to being a little bit more self-sufficient and staying, getting away from this infrastructure that they want us to put us on, the powers that be, or whatever you want to call it. They want us all on there, sucking on their nipple. And I want to get away from that. I want to get away from that altogether. It's like I was talking to a buddy of mine, talking about, because he just got some chickens. And I was like, yeah, man, because I was thinking maybe what I would do if which I haven't done it yet, is kind of get the money up to do some of this stuff. It's like start a worm farm, have some chickens. Let's see here. Also, what was it? The other thing, it was I was thinking about doing a nursery, for all these, plants, for landscaping type plants, some of this indigenous, landscaping plants that use out here for these fancy homes, and honey and bees, and have a beehive, and now I was looking into this new beehive out there, man. It's called a flow hive or something like that, but man, it's the way they got it set up, you don't have to go through all that stuff, where you have to put on the bee suit and the hat and all that stuff, go in there and smoke them out, and then pull the trays out and scrape them and put them in that little centrifugal thing and spin all the damn honey out. You don't have to do any of that. The way it's set up, man, it's basically honey on tap, straight from the hive, and it's pretty cool. So I was sitting there, I was like, a worm farm, chickens, bees, and landscaping plants type stuff. That would be kind of cool if I had all that kind of stuff sitting here on the property, because then I'd be like, on that aspect, I got the eggs from the chickens, and then eventually I could probably sell the chickens or whatever, and the chicks or whatever, and the worms, can help feed the chickens. The dirt and the worms can go to like bait and tackle shops, and the dirt is good for the plants, so that'd be good for like the nursery that I want to do, and then on top of that, good, potting soil like that is good. People buy that stuff too, and then the honey, like good wild, bee honey and stuff like that, local and stuff. People kind of pay pretty good money for that stuff. So, and then I was sitting there thinking, it's like all those things right there, it'd be like, the initial cost and the initial getting it up and going would be, a pretty good penny and all that other stuff. But once everything starts rolling, it's almost like just kind of maintaining it. And then you kind of just sit back and let nature do its work. Let the worms do the work, the bees do the work, the chickens do their own thing, and and let the plants grow. It's like they like I said, the initial part of it that'd be the hard part, and then it's like, and then you get to maintaining it, and then it's almost like it all starts kind of once it all becomes harmonious, where it starts doing all by itself, then you can just kind of sit back and let nature do its thing. And that'd be kind of cool. And then that's the reason why I'm thinking about that damn generator, trying to figure out some kind of a way of generating electricity here, and where I can, for one, the electricity for the air conditioner, because it was hot as hell when that hurricane happened, so it would be nice to have air conditioner. But the main thing is like a refrigerator, and also enough power to run the pump for the well out there, because I didn't have any water. And other than going down to the pond, which you gotta strain it. You gotta filter it and boil it, whatever, but it's from the pond and stuff. So I needed enough to run the pump, the refrigerator and freezer, and then luxury things like air conditioner, heater, the water heater. The water heater, that'd be kind of nice too, actually. That's another thing too, a water heater. Things that most people take it for granted because we have the grid, but the grid could go down at any moment. It could go down right freaking now. And click, boom, gone. And for the hurricane, it was like a massive amount of trucks coming down for these electric companies to get the grid back up. Boy, I'm going to tell you, it was like an army of these damn service trucks. But, like, if it was something else, you won't see that. You won't see all these, because you won't see all these army of trucks coming to turn everything back on. Everything will be chaos. And, or not chaos, but it would just be, you won't be able to get gas to ride the trucks around. And because once the generators run out of gas to keep things going, boom, you're done. And you think, what, a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, maybe at the most a month, depending on how much fuel you got to run these generators and how long you run them. And I'm talking like, infrastructure type stuff, like a police, fire department, the power utility companies and their trucks and stuff, and all that kind of stuff. Ambulance, all that kind of stuff. If you're not able to get the damn gas out of the fucking hole, pump the damn gas out, you ain't going nowhere. So, I've been through quite a few hurricanes in my life here in Florida. First time I've been through a Category 5. But it definitely made me think about some stuff, because I rode all the way through it, was on the air, and I took pictures and stuff, and we had probably, 20 25 trees or something like that that just uprooted and fell over, got blown over. And and my uncle's property back there in the back, it was mostly pine trees, because over here it's mostly like oak, but over in his property it's mostly pine trees. And hell, most of them, just like about halfway down, snapped and broke over. So destroyed quite a few trees. Luckily, I mean, it's just, I guess, just pure luck, I guess. But when it came through, my house is kind of pointed straight into the wind. The wind was coming in one way, and it really didn't shift directions. It just kind of, from when it came passing through, just kind of, I wasn't in the toward the center. I was kind of like on the edge of it, and so I got just one direction. Majority of the time, I just got one direction coming at me, and my house just happened to be pointed straight into it, like a boat straight into a wave. So if it had switched and went came at me sideways, they probably would have rolled this sucker down the damn hill. But, I don't know where all that skip went. What the hell? I thought there was some skip. I thought, something was gonna happen. I'll make me some food while I'm sitting here, y'all. Whoever might be watching this later on, because 0 people are watching it once again. 0 viewers on my live streams, which is okay. It would actually greatly surprise me if I started getting like 500, 6,000, 400, like huge amount of people like all watching me at the same time. Be like, damn, why? But, it'd be kind of neat, I guess, for a minute. People hanging on my every word. Yeah, sure. Most people don't want to hear my voice. Even nice people sometimes, they don't want to hear me because majority of the stuff is just too real and they don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. If it's not in front of me and it doesn't affect me, I don't want to hear about it. But in reality, a lot of stuff affects everybody, and just because it's not knocking on their door at that moment, you know what I mean? Well, if it happens to pop back in, I'll come back in, but